Hello there. So it's Tuesday morning and it's the Good Enough Mum back on my live feed, and welcome back after Christmas and the start of the new year. And you'll see that I've titled my live feed New Year, New You, not because I don't know about you, but I'm really not getting the good feeling about the new year at the moment. And as you might be able to tell, part of the reason for that is I haven't been very well for the last few days. And so, in a sense, getting back to normal, I'm still waiting for that to happen. And I've had a few thoughts about that. I've got lots and lots of things to share over the next few weeks, as I've had the chance to do quite a lot of reading and thinking over the holidays. But today I really wanted to talk about when things don't go according to plan. And part of the reason why I've actually struggled a bit is just before Christmas I wrote my lovely blog on tips for well-being over Christmas, and I did manage to stick with most of them. But one of the things that I personally find quite difficult at the moment is to do with overeating, and of course Christmas does give us that opportunity to overeat. And part of the thinking that was going on for me was obviously having written that lovely blog all about mindful eating, why wasn't I sticking to it? And that put me off really wanting to come back and start doing my live feeds again, because there's always that thought of, well, why am I bothering? Why am I doing it? Who do I think I am to be wanting to reach out to people with the message? And so it's been a struggle, to be honest, to come back. But here I am, and part of what really spoke to me was I was rereading some of Kristin Neff's teaching. And she teaches all about self-compassion. She's one of the world leaders in thinking about self-compassion. And what I do sometimes if I read something really good or listen to something is I'll write it down. And yesterday I came across something that I'd written down, and I just found this really, really helpful. So I'd like to share it with you. And the gist of it is, she says, we have this expectation of ourselves and of life that somehow it should be perfect. And so when we make a mistake or things go wrong, we have an unconscious assumption of, this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening to me. It shouldn't be like this. And we can spiral into feeling very down because we're hitting up against our assumptions that life shouldn't be like this. But of course, this is what life is. Human beings do make mistakes, and we do experience suffering as a result of our mistakes. So she says, I'm just going to read a little bit of what she says. The feeling that something has gone wrong creates a lot of suffering because it makes us feel isolated and cut off from our fellow human beings. But when we remember that failure and difficulty and suffering is actually part of the human experience, in fact it makes us a card-carrying member of the human race, any moment of challenge can actually be a moment of connection with others. And I just love that thought, because that really inspired me to get back and start sharing again, because I thought, what I'm going through in feeling ashamed of my eating is what often lots of other people go through, and this is part of what makes us human. And when we experience shame, we sort of feel that we're failing, and we feel that we're not acceptable because we're failing and that we shouldn't belong. And yet actually what Kristin is saying is it's this very failure that helps us to belong. But what we do is we cut ourselves off from people and we hide because we're ashamed. That's part of what shame does for us, is it disconnects us from people. And so it's actually really helpful, and I hope that by what I'm doing today, by sharing with you the way I feel, and the fact that I do feel ashamed of how much I ate over Christmas, in a sense that helps us to connect, because I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. And so if I, as a counsellor, can be really honest about myself and use that to help other people to realise that they're okay, that they're normal, that they're human, then I think I'm doing my job. And that's really what I wanted to share with you today. So there's actually no need for me to feel ashamed. You know, this is part of being human. Some of the stuff that I've been looking at over the last few days is all about the way our brains work, which I'm just fascinated by, and what they call the System 1 and the System 2 brains. And our System 1 brains are those sort of automatic ways in which our brains function, and that's so innate to us. It's goes right back through evolution, and we react in ways that didn't really involve our rational thinking, you know, and part of that can be when we're surrounded by temptation. It's easy to eat too much, and that's just part of our human condition. And so hopefully by sharing that and by being human, I hope that might encourage any of you out there who aren't getting the sort of new year, new you feeling at the moment. You're not alone. I know I'm not alone in this, and I hope that encourages you today. So I'll be blogging about this over the next couple of days and putting my blog out this week. So do keep an eye out for that. It'll be at thegoodenoughmen.com/blog. So take care now, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.